What's up, everyone? Welcome to Backlog and Beyond, the podcast where we talk about the old games we want to beat and the new ones we play instead. I'm your host, Jeff Zavatero.
And I'm your other host, IP Freely, and this is episode 44.
Welcome to our podcast, as I say.
Our podcast? Or
Yeah,
our
it threw me
pardencast?
off so much. I didn't remember. I just kept, welcome to the old video we want to beat and the new ones we play instead.
Derry Garrison Tefatet.
It ruined my day.
Jeff just had a stroke.
Welcome. Some of you are watching us on Twitch right now. You may be watching the video on YouTube, or you may be listening to it wherever you listen to podcasts. I listen on Apple Podcasts, where we are still sitting at 2 written reviews.
Yee.
But 6 reviews total, giving us 5 stars.
We appreciate
you. You should be reviewing us there as well. The more people to watch, the more episodes we'll do. That's not true. We're going to do the same amount of episodes, but if we can quit our jobs and focus on this, we could do more content.
That's right. That's the dream, right?
That is the dream. The dream. So we have stuff to talk about today, but first we're going to talk about what we're playing. Nathan, what did you play this week?
Not a lot. This week got really hectic. I worked like almost 60 hours this week. It's been absolutely crazy, so I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's been busy. But I did get a chance to play Assassin's Creed Origins earlier this week. I was able to take out 2 more targets, and I'm sitting at like a level 23 now. And I think I have one last target that's going to be revealed. And I say that because I'm looking at there's like an image of these targets that I'm taking out, and there's space past the 4 targets that I have. So I'm seeing this possibility of a pyramid scheme turning into. So I already took out the row of 5. I'm just about to take out the row of 4. So I imagine there's going to be a row of 3, a row of 2, and then one at the very top. So I think I actually have like 7 more targets to take out, unfortunately. But I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. So just, grinding at it and slowly chipping away at it. And that's all I had time to play, unfortunately, other than our Give It an Hour game. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I did another stream of Hades, in which I got all the way to the end again. So I am 1/5 of the way through the story.
Nice.
So yeah, I did it with the shield again because apparently I suck at every other weapon. But next time I stream, I want to do a different weapon. Probably the gloves. I like fighting, like the boxing one.
Oh, gloves! I didn't know there's gloves. That's cool.
Yeah. I did I did a stream actually during Pondello's stream of Among Us. And Alex talked to me the whole time, and she's like, "It was this person. They did it." And then it was not them, and I looked a fool. And I think they voted me out pretty shortly after. I'm really bad at that game. And then I played a little bit of Night in the Woods. I'm into part 3 of 4. Cool. But it's like games where there's a ton of reading, I have a hard time playing for a long time at a time.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know. It makes me tired to read now. Like, I associate it with like late night, and I read, and I'm like, man, I'm tired. Or like, I guess when I worked at the hotel, I read a lot, and I was always tired at the hotel because that was an overnight job.
Yeah, so it's just like your body naturally thinking you're back at the hotel.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like,
that's hilarious.
You're reading? Nerd.
You're getting a call from upstairs.
Yeah. And then I played this game based on a recommendation from Watch Play Listen. It's Before I Forget. It was also nominated for the Beyond Gaming Award for BAFTA, which we'll be talking about later.
Nice.
And what they talked about is it is an excellent experience about getting into the shoes of someone who has Alzheimer's or dementia.
That's cool.
And it's a 45-minute experience, and you're just a woman in a house looking for your husband and going through your memories, which every object you interact with, and you pick something up, and either it goes back into a flashback or you just have trouble remembering the placement of it. It was very heartbreaking, but something they also brought up in a podcast, like it's so clunky. And it was a game I really wanted to love. Had the execution been a little bit better, I think it could have been an amazing experience. But it was a great experience that was hunkered down by the gameplay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I definitely encourage giving it a shot.
Okay.
It was a very touching experience. It's only 45 minutes. It is $8.
Oh, that's not bad.
But yeah, so if you want to give it a shot, Nathan, it is on our Steam account. So
Perfect.
It's
There you
very
go.
yeah, it'd be very easy for like a one day, and I'm counting it as a game beat this year.
May as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Congrats.
So that is what we played this week. Next, we're gonna move on to the news. Square Enix revealed the actors playing the lead for their new game, and they revealed the title for Forspoken. And I am super jazzed about that game. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
The traversal throughout the world looked amazing.
Looks cool.
I heard they want this to be their new thing, their new Final Fantasy, their new Tomb Raider. They want this to be like a franchise.
So
And it's kind of
exciting.
like a pet project of the CEO, I guess. So
Oh.
I am very. It's supposed to come out next year. All games get delayed, so I'm going to say 2023. But I'm going to be optimistic.
Right. Super ambitious. I'm with you there with the 2023 concept.
Yeah. And then in other news, Game Pass has made some serious moves, including their Bethesda games are now all over Game Pass, including on PC. And EA's Game Pass is now on the Xbox Game Pass as well. So I can
EA
play
Play.
games like SimCity and Star Wars Squadrons. I could give that another VR shot. Yeah. So they also added some other major games. I forgot to take notes, but it was like a big week for Xbox Game
Yeah,
Pass. They made some big moves.
Big moves. It's pretty impressive to actually see, and it's very exciting for Xbox fans. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. What about you? What's your news?
PlayStation buys Evo, the largest fighting championship competition in the world, basically. It's kind of exciting to see that happen. I'm not exactly sure like what their intention is, or if they're just trying to look at obtaining another market. It could just be them investing.
Yeah.
But I have been noticing that almost every single day on their YouTube account, they're showcasing the Mortal Kombat tournaments, and I wasn't sure if that was like something that they normally do, or if that was just something they were testing and that was going to be their decision, or that was just going to be like their way of introducing, hey, we're doing fighting games now, like that's a big thing, and who knows, we could probably see some. We might see like a exclusive PlayStation fighting game, like a whole new franchise.
I think majority of fighting games in those tournaments are Xbox 360.
Yes.
Although most people use fight sticks, so I think it's just another way to get people to focus more on those games for the PlayStation.
Right.
Which is a smart move because like
For
that
sure.
was the de facto. But game sticks could work on anything.
Right. I mean,
So
I don't know. I mean, when I say exclusive, I mean that's maybe incorrect, because I couldn't see them being exclusive when it comes to wanting people to show up to a tournament that they own. So, but I could see them creating their own fighting game and it being under Sony Studios and everything. So who knows? But I did see that Nintendo responded saying that they were going to be still considering Evo, I guess, like in terms of going there for their tournaments, or at least keeping their options open because now Sony owns it. So yeah, it's just interesting. That was a pretty big move on Sony. So that's also kind of exciting for all the fighting game fans out there. Also, what happened a couple weeks ago was Game Dev Direct, which we didn't get a chance to touch on just because there was so much going on and the timing was really bad. But they showed like over, I think it was like 80 games or something crazy. It was like a 10-hour. It was like total of 10 hours on YouTube. I think the show, like the actual like introductions of the games and like gameplay footage and stuff like that. I think that was only like about 4 hours of the both days. So if you do want to check it out, it was pretty much like an indie showcase for the most part. And IGN pretty much covered all that, so you can check it out on their YouTube. But there were a few games I wanted to quickly shout out that you should go look at that I think look cool. Expedition Zero, Chasing Static, The Signifier, Director's Cut, Operation Tango, Murder Mystery Machine, Lake, Endling, and Hazel Sky. And then I also saw one that I thought Emily would like called Snacko. Looks like it looks like Cats and Stardew Valley. Looks
we
super
did watch
cute.
that trailer. It did look dope.
Doesn't look
I
cute.
saw there was a Kickstarter and I clicked on it because I wanted to donate, but it already reached its goal and it's over. So
Yeah.
it looks really good.
Yeah. So anyway, so check out those games. I think they look awesome. Some of them were like more like my kind of thing. Actually, I saw a couple that you might like, Jeff. They were focused on like retro like wrestling games, and they looked really cool, like really well done, like vintage style wrestling games. I forget the names, but probably wouldn't be hard to find them. So
Awesome.
it looks super dope.
I will check through, but it was when we
lot.
decided we weren't going to do a whole episode on it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, fuck that. No news came up on Reddit for me, so not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me. Great. So we're going to move on to our main topic. The BAFTA Game Awards are coming up for 2021. A couple weeks ago, they released the nominations. And this coming Thursday, I believe, is the awards show. I wonder what time of day it is. Maybe I can like do a host of it. That'd be fun.
I don't know.
If
That's
it's
a
at
good question.
night. But usually, though, for some reason, those things are like they start at like 4.
Well, if it's UK time,
it's in the, oh yeah, we're screwed. It's gonna be like noon.
Yeah. No, because noon would be morning for us. Oh, you're saying it'd be noon our times that you're saying.
Yeah.
They're 8 hours ahead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I don't think we're gonna get to watch that unless they do it for the Americas. That would be a real baller move, BAFTA. It's not gonna happen. Very sad. I'm looking it up and I don't see anything. Their website is very cluttered. I don't like this.
Yeah, the website was kind of hard to like get through. I was like, what is going on? Like, where am I supposed to go look at things? Like, where are the nominees?
Yeah.
This was rough.
This is
like, where is everything?
Maybe it's not a show. They just, here's all the winners. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. There's no show. It's just, it's actually worse than the VGAs just because they don't even have a show.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 1900 UK time. So it's going to be 11 a.m. here. I'm going to be at work. So I can't do that.
All right.
Big sad. Anyway, cool. So we're gonna go through each nomination, and I just did it in the order that they did it. So it seems a little bit backwards. Like we're gonna be starting with best game, but we're gonna be ending with the category where the audience gets to vote on what they think the best game is. So that is how we're gonna go. We'll talk about what some of the people on our Discord voted for, what the video game awards said won in that category, or maybe what has the best Metacritic score versus what we think. Are we going to do any like kind of bet on this? I don't think we did on last one either.
No, I think we're just going to do a point system where it just goes towards our annual points for the year.
Yeah, we tied last for the video game awards.
Yeah, we did. We tied because I think we only voted differently on like 3 or 4, and I think we each got one, and then we ended up losing most of them as well. So it was like that's pretty funny. We tied. It was hilarious.
All right. So great. We're going to start with BAFTA 2021 nominee for Best Game. This is the big one. And the nominees are Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and The Last of Us Part 2. Nathan, what are your thoughts?
Well, considering how many nominations The Last of Us Part 2 has, and considering how well it did at the Video Game Awards, I'm going to go with Last of Us Part 2. Just because of how big of an impact it made, I think, on storytelling and just, the shock factor. And the game was technically brilliantly made. So I don't know. I'm looking at these other games, and these are all great games. But I have to give it to Last of Us Part 2. That's Murphy. They just They just knocked it out of the park, and I think it's going to take it again.
Fair. Another shout out to the Watch Play Listen. I was listening to Mike Bithell and Austin Wintory, who have been on the panels for the judges when they're voting for these games, because it's all like people in gaming. It's not just like the Academy Award where it's a bunch of old white people. It is people in the thing, and they get to decide what each category means for themselves for that year. And I think a lot of the times they really focus on games that they see as underappreciated. Like last year, what was the game that the Final Cut's coming out and I really want to play it? It's coming out the end of this month. What was it?
Yeah.
Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium,
like,
yeah.
That game swept almost last year. Like it killed it, and like that put that game on the map. And I think a lot of the times they give some of these awards to games that deserve that recognition that didn't necessarily get it. That being said, I also think that it is going to go to The Last of Us Part 2. I think like that game is too good for what it is.
Yeah.
It did win the Video Game Awards. I think it is going to win again. My personal vote, I wish, and the Discord agreed with me, that it would go to Hades. Like after playing Hades, I'm like, I see why this is many people's game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, IGN gave it game of the year. So
yeah. So I could like that would be my second choice, honestly. I think they would I think there are going to be people in that room that fight for Hades. But I think The Last of Us Part 2, you cannot look past it, and I think it's going to win.
Nice.
Yeah. Great. So next we're going to move on to the BAFTA 2021 nominee for British Game, which is an interesting award.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not British. How the hell am I supposed to know this?
Yeah. So the nominees are Dreams, F1 2020, Fall Guys, Roki, I think that's how you say it with the accent mark over
I think
it.
you're right.
Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and The Last Campfire. I was stuck between two for this one.
Okay.
Obviously there was no video game award equivalent for it.
No.
And the highest Metacritic is an 89 with Dreams. But I ultimately went with Roki.
Okay.
After I had never heard anything about it, but I looked up reviews. I watched a gameplay trailer on it. And it's an adventure game inspired by Scandinavian folklore. And I think it was trying to do the most different, and I think they're going to choose to celebrate it in this category because I don't see it winning anything else.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, what about you? What do you think?
I'm going with The Last Campfire.
Yeah, I figured you
because that's the only game I've played like extensively in any of these except for Fall Guys.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I thought it was really charming and cute. And they had a girl with a British accent speaking it the entire time.
Yeah.
You can't get any
They're
more
like, look how prevalent we are in this game.
Yeah. Hello, I'm a lost one. I'm trying to find myself. I can't. Where am I supposed to go? That was pretty much the entire game. And I've yet to beat it, but I do love the game and I do want to beat it. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just go with The Last Campfire. It's really cute.
Cool. So far on our Discord, Fall Guys is winning.
Okay, I can see that.
Impressive.
Fall Guys,
like it had a big boom, but
yeah, they did.
I've never seen a game fall that quickly.
Right, it's true. Fall that quickly.
All right, we are going to move on to the nominee for animation. So this one will be interesting.
Yes.
I forgot to. I've been meaning to write down what you put both times. All right. So the nominees were Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Spiritfarer, and The Last of Us Part 2. This is another one where I thought there'd be a video game award for this, but there was not.
Yeah, I know.
The top Metacritic score is The Last of Us Part 2 at 93, so I could see it going that way.
Yep.
It had excellent visual representation of like emotion and mouth movement for people talking, which is really hard to nail down. What did you go for?
I'm gonna go with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I remember playing that game for one of our given hours. Well, not the Wisps, but what was the other one? Ori and the Blind Forest. Yes. And I thought the animation was absolutely gorgeous and completely separated itself from a lot of other games on this list. It was just very special in the way that it was designed and drawn, and it had like this level of realism look to it, but it also had like this animated kind of DreamWorks Pixar kind of style to it. So I think because it stands out so different from the rest, whereas everything else is trying to focus more or less on a realistic approach, I'm taking their animation word like seriously, not so much as like where they may give it to something that's a little bit more different in terms of animating. So I'm gonna go with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So
that so my heart and Discord's heart says Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think that did a lot right in bringing something that feels so nostalgic to life. But my official vote is going to be the same as yours. I think it will go to Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Nice.
I think it is a unique style. I think they worked their butt off to make a game look that good and play that smoothly on the Nintendo Switch after having it on Xbox and PC.
Right.
So I got to give them props for that. And I think it will be recognized in this category. This is another one, again, where I think it's a game they want to recognize.
Right.
And this is the best category to do it in.
Yeah, I think they're one of the smaller dev teams, too. So they may want to, give them a little bit of a shout out there with that. So,
yeah, absolutely. So that's the first one we've agreed on 2 out of 3 so far. So that's all right. Next, we're going to go for the nomination for Artistic Achievement. The nominees being Cyberpunk 2077, Dreams, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, The Last of Us Part 2. This one was at the Video Game Awards. They gave it to Ghost of Tsushima. And our Discord says Hades.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I'm going Dreams on this one because it's a British game apparently, which I didn't know. But I think the main reason is because of the community that it had built on an artistic level. Like if you're taking this this achievement literally, artistic achievement. I mean, you've basically had hundreds and thousands of artists collaborate on games together. No other game has done that ever. Like to this scale where you have somebody working on music and you have somebody working on animation and voice acting and sound design. And it's just, I mean, when this screams, I think the most art in terms of achievement, in terms of the community that they built with this game. I think Ghost of Tsushima, I loved their design. Like their visually, that game is absolutely stunning and beautiful. But if we're looking at like achievement, I would say like Dreams achieved probably more than any of these games for what they did with the community. So that's why I'm picking Dreams.
All right. Well, I actually changed my answer while I was looking at this. A game that universally people say is amazing, but doesn't get a lot of love, I think, is Half-Life Alyx. And I think this is one of the games that can take virtual reality to the next level.
Yeah.
Which I think it's ready to do. Like the Oculus Quest has made it so much more accessible. And if you get the cord, you can play it on a computer as long as your computer can run it. And this is the highest quality visual game that I have seen, and it is a platform seller. Like this is a platform mover, and I think these kinds of experiences we're normally getting, 4 to 5 hour, $20 to $30 experiences. This is a full game, and this is something that has not been presented in that way before. And if they could do more games like this, it could be the next, like it could be on the level of a console if they continue on that path.
Right, this could be like the new expectation of VR, basically.
Yeah, it could be like that. It's the new bar. I haven't even played it, and from what I've seen of it, it is the new bar.
It looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
Yeah. All right. So, great. I already said Discord voted. Did I say Discord's vote yet?
I don't think so.
It's Hades, actually.
Oh, you did.
Which was actually going to be my vote until I thought about it a little bit more. Although you did present a strong case where I almost changed my answer to Dreams, but the only thing holding me back from that is they didn't do the art themselves. I think that I'm trying to figure out how how the committee would interpret artistic achievement. I think you make a very strong case.
Yeah.
If you were in that room, I could see one or two people being like, yeah. Because look at the art it helps people create.
Right.
But I think I'm going to interpret it as look at the art that they were able to make on this platform that hasn't been done in this way before.
That's fair. Yeah. So really, it'll come down to, I guess, these judges. What they're really looking at this for. You know, why Dreams would have. Because I guess my only argument with that is if that's the case, then Dreams really wouldn't have been a part of the category.
Yeah. So I think they were just they left it wide, and they're like,
yeah, it's a good point.
This is what we're looking at.
That's a good argument.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So we're gonna go nominee for audio achievement. We have Astro's Playroom, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Nice.
Our Discord and the Video Game Awards said it was going to be The Last of Us Part 2. The highest Metacritic score is a tie. A lot of these are a tie between Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2 at 93.
Wow.
I know. Astro Ghost are 83 and Miles Morales is 85. So
nice.
My vote for this one, I am also going to go with Half-Life Alyx.
Oh wow.
I think this could be a a great award to present it, because like it's very hard to get VR sound right. Like
True.
the sound needs to be designed in a way where if you hear a noise in the background, you need to know where it's coming from.
Right.
And I think it's another example of people loving the way this was accomplished, and I'm going to give it to Half-Life as well. What do you vote?
I'm going with the Discord and Video Game Awards and everybody else. I think Last of Us Part 2 sound design was phenomenal. I mean, those firefights were so well done. Like you felt like you were in the middle of that shit. It was so good. Just but yeah, everything about that game, just like all the sound design, the creature sound design, the ambience, the way the music just reverberated in some of those buildings when she'd play, like in the theater. It's just they just nailed like all that sound. Like so hands down, it's gonna be for me. Last was Part 2.
That's fair.
I almost picked Astro's Player in though because I love the shit out of that game.
I almost changed my answer again because I looked at it and I'm like, that was amazing. But like at the same time, it was mostly the controller.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the controller, dude. Astro's Player should win for like coolest experience.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so next we're going to move on to debut game. First we had Airborne Kingdom, Call of the Sea, Carry On, Factorio, Roki, and the Falconeer. Our Discord voted almost unanimously for Call of the Sea, which was this was the weirdest one for me to see everyone kind of all jump to one that I necessarily would not vote for.
Okay.
Video Game Awards did have a debut game, and the winner for that was actually not nominated. It was Phasmophobia.
Right.
So that was surprising to see it not into this at all. Because I haven't actually heard of most of these games. I watched almost every single one of these trailers, having never seen anything about them before.
Gotcha.
What was your vote for?
Call of the Sea. Only because that was one of the only games that I've actually seen any gameplay footage on it. I saw the Falconeer stuff. I thought it looked like it might get a little repetitive, whereas Call of the Sea looked like it had like a nice narrative as well as a very interesting, had some very interesting gameplay mechanics.
Okay.
And a really interesting art style and seemed very genuine. And honestly, again, it's the only thing I'd actually seen enough and like kind of everywhere. I've seen a lot of trailers for it, and I've seen a lot of people like hyped for it. So I'm gonna go with Call of the Sea for that very reason.
That's fair. So you think it's popular enough it has to win?
I think so. I think the popularity is what's going to win this game.
This one for this award, I think, is where they'll start. Like, I think the committee will start to be like, no, what should we give this to?
Gotcha.
Weirdly, Metacritic, far and away, the highest score is Factorio, which is a 90. Call of the Sea is down at 81, and the rest of them are in the 70s, except for Falconeer, which is a 68.
Yeah, Falconer didn't look that great, to be honest.
No, I didn't want him. But I watched all these trailers, mostly experiencing them for the first time. And the one that really caught my eye was Carry On.
Okay.
And it's you'll assume the role of an amorphous creature of unknown origin. And like you stalk and you attack it, like your tentacles and like your goo reaches out and like rips people to shreds, and then you like eat them. It was like 16 or 8 or 16-bit, and it was so gory. And
that's awesome.
For this one, I had to go with my personal preference because I don't know about anything about any of them, but I went with Carry On.
Cool.
And I actually added it to my wish list. I thought it was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it looked amazing, and it looked like it was so much fun. Emily said that
cool.
looks gross. It totally did look gross.
I need to check this out.
I loved it.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Great. So next category, the nominee for Evolving Game, we have Destiny 2, Beyond Light, Dreams, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Sea of Thieves. Fortnite, and I think No Man's Sky was on this last year, and neither of them won.
Right.
They were nominated. Right. Video Game Awards, they gave this to No Man's Sky this year. Right. Discord gave it to No Man's Sky this year.
Right.
To me, the gameplay loop just did not change enough. With everything they added. So to me, it wasn't a reason to pull me back into the game full time.
Fair enough.
I did want to try it in VR. I got to. I did want to try some of the stuff. I didn't have enough units, so I didn't. So it is not a game I keep going back to.
Okay.
Another game that I feel like got the No Man's Sky treatment, but hasn't been given the universal praise for doing so, was Sea of Thieves. I think that game really turned itself around
Mm-hmm.
and is doing a really good job of giving people incentive to come back. So that is going to be my vote for this one.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I saw that, I was like, it. I mean, I'm going with No Man's Sky personally because I love No Man's Sky. And what's funny is I barely have the time to play No Man's Sky or really give it the attention it deserves and the attention that I want to give it, just because it is an open-ended game that just could never end. It's one of those things you just pick up because you just love it. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm kind of wasting my time doing a game that doesn't have like really an end to it sometimes when I have such limited time to play. I feel like I'm gonna be playing a lot of these games when I'm like retired and have nothing else better to do with my life, where I just play like these open-ended games. I am gonna give it to No Man's Sky just because of the comeback that they made and how I guess how focused they've been on each of their improvements to the game and their upgrades and their DLC. Like it's very specific and very focused, and they do an amazing way of presenting it every time. But I think if this does not win, I think you've nailed it on the head with Sea of Thieves. I think Sea of Thieves also has done an excellent job evolving into the game that it is now, and they've really grown. So, I mean, I think it's going to be between No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves, to be honest.
Do you know off the top of your head if No Man's Sky is on Game Pass or is it just on Xbox, like regular?
I think it's just I don't know. I'm going to say it's just regular, but
I think Sea of Thieves has that like availability to everyone on
PC and Xbox
like
Game Pass.
on Game Pass. Like I don't have to buy it; I just have to subscribe, which is really amazing for me.
Right.
Our Twitch chat is going insane right now, and I can't stop looking at it. It is out of control right now.
I'm just saying Shark Night.
Ignore it. Like everyone's making fun of Fortnite right now, but Clay is pretty much trashing all of our picks too. Like, and at one point, Emily deleted his messages because he's out of control. Out of control. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to family game. The nominees are Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Astro's Playroom, Dreams, Fall Guys, Minecraft Dungeons, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. The winner at the Video Game Awards and the highest Metacritic score is Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and that's gonna be my vote as well.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any other game this year.
Dude, this is
I'm gonna assume
like
it's yours too.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. I mean, come on, look at the impact it had for COVID, and
this one had like an impact on people. Like it got people playing and like buying Switch en masse.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one took everyone by storm. I was playing it even though I was like, man, this is kind of grindy. I don't know if I like this. I just kept playing because there was so much hype around it. I wanted to be a part of the conversation. But yeah, I mean, honestly, for the game that it is an amazing game and it's so well done. It's not for me, but I can look through my own bias and realize this game deserves everything for the family game. Like
I wanted to give it something else. Like I think Astro's Playroom was perfectly fit in here.
Dude, totally.
I think Fall Guys, excellent. Sackboy is an excellent game to play with friends.
Always.
But you cannot get over the cultural impact that Animal Crossing: New Horizons
and it's cute. I mean, it's good for all ages. Like literally all ages.
And like it's so casual. It's not my kind of game, but I can see why everyone loves this game.
Totally.
I get it. Next category is Games Beyond Entertainment. The nominees are Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Before I Forget, Dream, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, and The Last of Us Part 2. What did you go with, Nathan?
So I was going to go with Tell Me Why because it had won the Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
Video Game Awards. But without spoiling my experience on Spiritfarer, I'm going Spiritfarer. Just because.
I actually went with that too.
Because man, I'm already feeling some stuff with that game. Like already feeling some stuff, and I think
I'm gonna save all my thoughts for later. But I think,
sorry, go ahead.
Personal feelings aside, I think there's a couple categories. I think if this was nominated more, this is a game that would have gotten more recognition from this kind of group.
Right.
Discord did go with Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and that honestly would have been my second choice as well, because for the reasons we said it should be top family game. Like it had a major impact on the morality of people in COVID-19. And I think this game was invaluable for the timing it had.
Yeah.
But I think Spiritfarer is the more, I guess, important is the word important is the word I'm going to say for experience. Like,
Right.
it is the more meaningful experience I think this award seeks to give out to.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Tell Me Why because it has an impactful story apparently, and I've read up on it, and it touches on a subject that we're dealing with today, but I feel like Spiritfarer, anybody can relate to this, and I feel like not everyone's gonna be able to relate to Tell Me Why, so I
Yeah.
think that's why Spiritfarer might yank this one up, but
Fair.
we'll see.
Awesome. So another one we agree on. Great. Next, we're going to go for game design, which was Animal Crossing New Horizon, Astro Playroom, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2. I'm just going to... So our Discord went with Ghost of Tsushima. Of course, we have the same top 3 at 93 Metacritic.
Right. Once again.
Yep. But I'm going to put Hades. Like, Hades is going to be my vote. Like, I think it turned a genre that certain people couldn't get into, like me, and it made it accessible. The art is incredible. The music knows when to build and knows when to like be calm and subtle. I think it is an excellent game. I think they drew in a new audience, and I love them. I love that all of their games are so different, and they seem to be all different genres, but they hit it out of the park every time. Hades is my vote.
All right, cool. Yeah, I also went with the Discord on this one. I went with Ghost of Tsushima. I think out of that year, I think if we had to pick, because Last was Part 2 looked amazing, but Ghost of Tsushima looked beautiful. Like, I think that's what separates those two. And if you're gonna like compare graphics and design and everything, something about Ghost of Tsushima just felt like a dream the entire time while you were playing. You felt like you had died and like this was purgatory or something, where everything felt surreal to a point. Almost like an over stylized version of Japan, and it was just absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and down to like to the sound design and the music and the just like the gameplay. I don't know, this game really, it did a lot for me that year, because it was just a rough year, and I was like, that was the kind of game that I was looking forward to, something that I was actually going to have fun playing, as well as have some that looked gorgeous and just made me feel good in general. I mean, it was a a tragic story, and technically because of what had happened, but I do think Ghost of Tsushima is going to get it because of just how gorgeous that world was. Just, I don't know, it was just beautiful. So that's it.
Excellent. Next, we're going to move on to nominee for multiplayer game. We have Animal Crossing New Horizons again, Deep Rock Galactic, Fall Guys, Ghost of Tsushima, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, or Valorant. What did you vote for?
I went with Valorant. Valorant is actually very big in the multiplayer community right now on Twitch. Valorant's pretty big on Twitch. I've actually, Crooked plays Valorant, plays a lot of Valorant. And it looks really fun, to be honest. I was gonna go with Fall Guys because it's technically a British game, and they may just be a little biased with their own
Yeah, and that is what the Discord went with.
Gotcha, their own territory. But I'm just gonna take a little risk and go with Valorant, just because I think it is a sleeper in that sense. But I feel like that game is still going strong, whereas Fall Guys kind of took a little bit of a dip in viewership, as well as I think playing, gameplay.
Yeah.
So
I very begrudgingly agree with you. Like, all of those games I looked at, Valorant was by far the one that excited me the least. And I was like, it just looks like another shooter. Like, I don't see any difference between like this and anything else. But I think it has a mainstay for that reason. Like, it switches things up. People love it. You do you, people. I think it's gonna win.
Yeah.
Surprising Among Us was snubbed, which won the video game award in this category.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was shocked to see that, but it was. I personally, this is also where I would have voted for Animal Crossing New Horizons if I was in that room.
Right.
But I vote for Valorant. I'm
Yeah, because I
very
feel like
upset about voting for Valorant.
I know. I feel like Animal Crossing's like is an excellent single player game. I think the multiplayer is a little messy, to be honest. I feel like it's like, have you ever tried going to someone's island in Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Have you had more people come to the island while you're on the island at the same time?
I've had two people on my island, but
Okay.
I've only gotten to one.
One time I went to someone's island, right? And I was literally watching loading screens 50% of the time while I was on that island because people were coming and going, coming and going, coming and
Mm.
going. That pissed me off so much. I was like, literally, do I have to watch this every single time someone's coming? It's like, I don't care. Let me hang out on the freaking island. So I thought that was a broken mess,
That's fair.
but I can
I
understand like if it's private and just you and your friend, I could see that being really
Yeah.
fun. But my God, like the
I think
open
yeah.
island concept was so messy. It was like clunky as shit.
Yeah, the only reason like I see it getting that award is just because of the way it was able to bring people together and you could show off your island
Totally,
and like share
totally.
it with one person at a time. Um, yeah, totally fair.
Cool.
Awesome. So we're agreed. Next nominees for music, we have Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Sackboy, and The Last of Us Part 2. Snubbed was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I
Right.
am upset.
And that one.
It did win. My gut told me to say The Last of Us. It's hard to think that Gustavo will be snubbed again. But after seeing what a big presence Disco Elysium had last year, I don't think they're going to go for the obvious one.
Hmm.
I think Hades does an excellent job of suddenly building as the action builds, almost to the
Yeah.
point you don't notice until you do.
Right.
I think every sound, every song, every beat complements the gameplay so well. I'm
Very
giving
nice.
it to Hades.
Nice. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
What
give it
about
to
you?
Ape Out. I'm just kidding.
I would. Like, I absolutely would have given it to Ape Out. Like we were talking about when we saw the drums hit when you push someone in a
Dude,
commercial, I'm like, that would be
like,
awesome. And then it did.
did it? You're like, oh shit, it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. I don't know. Like, I could see that Hades could win this because Hades was nominated for music in the video game
Mhm.
awards, so that is a very good chance it could win. However, I'm gonna go with my personal choice, which is Ghost of Tsushima.
Mhm.
I I had so many moments of where I almost got choked up and chills from the music, the score itself, like way too many times during that game. So I'm probably gonna screw myself over for this one, but I'm gonna go with Ghost of Tsushima because of how I loved it. So this is more of a personal, not so much as a what I actually think is gonna win. But at this point, I feel like all of these have great music, so I may as well just pick the one that I loved the most out of them all.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I'm going Ghost.
All right. Next, we're going to go for narrative. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Kentucky Route Zero TV edition, and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Mm,
Notably snubbed, the winner for Video Game Award
right?
is The Last of Us Part 2.
Like what
Um,
happened with that?
my favorite is I was on the Watch Play Listen podcast and they turned to Troy Baker and he's like, something that really bothered me, like really surprised me was Last of Us 2 was not included. And then he went down this list of games and like he's like, I've never even heard of some of these, like Kentucky Route Zero. They're like, that game's actually really well known for its story and it's been they've been releasing parts for this year and this was the year it all came out, so it makes sense for it to be there. And they started making fun of him because they're like, you've run out of games to eliminate to put your own game in there, didn't you, Troy? Yeah.
Amazing.
Um what do you say for this category?
So, like
You're gonna
Ghost of
say Ghost,
Tsushima
aren't you?
was no, I was gonna
Okay.
say Ghost, but at one point I was like, you know what, Ghost of Tsushima was great, but it wasn't anything special in terms of the story that it was telling. It was your hero's journey basically. It wasn't anything crazy special.
Hmm.
And I feel like I don't know. I'd say the gameplay shined more in that game and the world than the actual story did because I think you kind of knew where the story was going. Um, so for me, and I didn't actually even do any research on Kentucky Route Zero, unfortunately, because I really wanted to, and I almost played that game instead of Spiritfarer. Um, So it's unfortunate I didn't get to play that. I have no idea the narrative of Cyberpunk. I don't know the narrative of Valhalla. That's why I'm just gonna go with Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales. It was a great story. The storytelling was fantastic. The characters were so special. Just everything about that story was fantastic in the way that they built up all those characters individually, and the way that it came to that final closeout was just so powerful. So I think the narrative in that one's going to be probably the most powerful from what I've experienced. I haven't experienced a lot of these, so I really have no say in to pick the others, unfortunately.
That's fair.
So
That is the one where I put a star with it because that's the one I wanted to vote for with my heart. Like
nice.
I've always loved Spider-Man, and this made me love the character of Miles more than Peter Parker, which I was not sure was possible. That being said, our Discord did say Hades is set to win this one, but my issue with Miles is that like it seemed to make so many quick jumps instead of sitting in the story a little bit longer, and I think it was just because they didn't have the time and resources that they wanted. They wanted it to be, you know, a connector game instead of its own full game, and they wanted it to come out at the same time as the PlayStation 5. And I think if that game was given 10 more hours, it could have been like my game of the year.
Nice.
I think I'm going to give this one to Kentucky Route Zero.
Okay.
It is not a game I've gotten to play yet, but it is a game I've been following since the first part came out in 2011.
Wow. Nice. All right.
It's a game that they've slowly been working at. Like, I think there's 5 parts, and they came out like several years after one after the other. So it was a really long process.
Right.
And just from what I hear about it, I think it kind of all went together in this one beautiful full experience. And I think for all the work that they put into it and the time, I think it will win Best Narrative this year.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of gameplay, just like kind of get an idea of what it looked like. And honestly, from what I've seen, it looks like the narrative is the main aspect of that game. Like that's the point, is to watch for the story. Like you're not going for like some crazy gameplay. You're going in for the story. So that is an argument for on its own. Like where the narrative is the main focus of the game and nothing else really. Like not nothing else, but
like they put. It seems like for that kind of thing, everything else is on the back burner, and this is a medium to tell this story.
Totally.
So
yeah, that's
I think if it's going to win
possible.
anything, it would be this one.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. So next we're going to go for original property, which I believe means like not a remake, not based on anything, not a sequel, right? Like it's a brand new of its thing.
Right,
and
right.
The nominees were Carry On, Fall Guys, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Kentucky Route Zero, and Spiritfarer. Our Discord went for Ghost of Tsushima. No, it was a 3-way tie. I'm sorry. Between Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Spiritfarer, and they all had 2 votes.
Gotcha.
So people were just really divided on this one.
Gotcha.
I think it could be Spiritfarer. Like that's going to be my vote. Like I think that's the direction they're going to go. I think the people on this committee want this game to get more recognition, and this is where to do it and how they would do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm going to go Hades, just because I haven't really picked Hades at all yet. And I got to get Hades on there somewhere because I do think that they're going to win something.
Like this is the one it wins, and you're like, that's the one I picked.
Good job on your original. Yeah, exactly. No, I do think, I don't know. I feel like Hades has to win something. If they're going to win anything, I feel like this is definitely something that this original property could actually have a sequel.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas
I could see it being a franchise. Like it feels like Spiritfarer is going to be its own complete story. Although it could not be. Like it could not be.
There could be another Spiritfarer.
We have to get through the whole game first, but
right.
I could see a situation like that where it could, you know, grow into something.
Yes, I'm going Hades with that one.
I really want to change my vote, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep it on Spiritfarer. I'm like if this is the only game Hades award Hades wins, I'm going to be pissed. Great. So next we're going to move on to the nominee for performer in a leading role. They had Ashley Johnson as Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, Shirami Lei as female V in Cyberpunk 2077, or is it Lee? I could be wrong. Cody Christian is Cloud Strife in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai in Ghost of Tsushima, Laura Bailey as Abby in The Last of Us Part 2, and Najee Jeter as Miles Morales in Spider-Man Miles Morales. I think I voted for Najee Jeter in the Video Game Awards.
Yeah, I think you did.
But the Discord, the Video Game Awards, and my heart said Ashley Johnson. But in my mind, I think this is where they give it to Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey has gone through so much hatred and so much backlash for playing this role.
Mm-hmm.
And while it personally wasn't my cup of tea, there were some times I think she missed the mark. I think this is where they recognize her for taking on such a controversial role and taking it with pride, with class,
Right.
and still doing an amazing job. So
Right.
Laura Bailey is my official vote.
Well, I thought Laura actually did win the Video Game Awards.
Did she?
Didn't she?
I thought I wrote Ashley Johnson. If it might have been Laura Bailey.
I thought Laura Bailey won because I thought I remember her crying, I thought, at the Video Game Awards.
I think she won a
was so
different
touched.
award.
Was
but
it?
I got to double check now.
Yeah, maybe double check. I'm also going to go with Laura Bailey because I agree with everything you said. Pretty much ditto to that 100%.
Nope, you're right. It was Laura Bailey.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know where I got Ashley Johnson, but yeah.
Well, it was the same game, so who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Laura Bailey as well. She did a phenomenal job playing Abby, and I think it was a character that she had to really work hard to gain the audience's love for, or any kind of liking. And I think that's a really, really hard thing to do as an actor, is trying to have people hate you and then, okay, don't hate me, I'm a human.
Yeah.
She had to she had to humanize herself basically to people to show that she wasn't a monster, and I think she did a great job. So yeah, Laura Bailey's got my vote.
I kind of agree with Emily in chat, and I think she's less likely to get it because she won at the Video Game Awards. But I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna put you down there. Next, we're gonna go for performing a supporting role, which I'm glad they do. They don't do this for
Yeah, that's cool.
For the Video Game Awards. They had Carla Tassara as Judy Alvarez in Cyberpunk 2077. Jeffrey Pierce as Tommy in The Last of Us Part 2. Logan Cunningham has Hades, Achilles, Poseidon, Asterius, Charon, and the Storyteller in Hades.
So good.
And plus, when he popped up in Spiritfarer, I was like, hey!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Patrick Gallagher as Khotan Khan in Ghost of Tsushima. Shannon Woodward as Dina in The Last of Us Part 2. Troy Baker as Joel in The Last of Us Part 2. 3 of them from The Last of Us Part 2, as opposed to only 2 in the last category.
I know, so many.
Who are you going to go for?
I'm going with Dina from Last of Us Part 2. She was so good. I absolutely loved her character. I think a lot of people resonated with Dina as well. They just absolutely fell in love with her. As much as I want to give it to Logan Cunningham just for the amazing voice acting, that's impressive. I think, well, because here's the thing, there's a difference between performance capture and voice acting. I think I forget who mentioned that, but it's a big difference. And I feel like that might be put into play here. That they not only had to act, but they also had to do performance capture. They use their full body for everything and their facial animations. But yeah, I love Dina. I thought she was great, and she was like the romance, basically the romance story of this game, and yeah, she was fantastic. I thought she was a great character, so I'm gonna go with Dina.
I would argue that she outshined Ashley Johnson in the scenes that they had together.
Totally.
I was ready to not like Dina because I didn't want Ellie to be traveling with this new person. I wanted Joel.
Right.
And when majority of the game was you traveling with this new person, I was resistant, but she stole the scene, and the farm scene at the end.
Yes.
She nailed it. And I that's the same thing I'd say for Jeffrey Pierce. That guy as Tommy killed it. He did such an amazing job. And that game, he was kind of underplayed in the first one, but this one they really put a lot of focus on him, and he did so good in every scene he was in. But I am going to give it to Logan Cunningham, and I'm going to do that because I could play that game and not realize he's any more than one of those people, but they're all so
I just
different
found that
and
out.
unique.
I didn't actually read that whole thing. I just saw Dina. I was like, yeah, I'll go Dina. I didn't realize you had put down like 8 parts for Logan Cunningham. I was like, holy crap, that's
Well,
impressive.
he's nominated. Like, yeah, he's like, I guess by they mean performer in a supporting role. Like, he's
Yeah.
supported by playing all of these characters.
Yeah, that's
Um,
impressive.
so, yeah, like
He
he was
supported the
so
whole game
versatile.
practically.
He was so versatile in that role. Like, I don't see how you not give it to him.
Right?
Um,
I can see
like
that.
in Hades, he gets all of these like stern or these gentle moments, and each of these other gods and characters he plays are so vastly different. I don't see
Right?
how you not.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Fair enough.
Uh, Great. Next, we're gonna go for nominee for technical achievement. Oops, I copied and pasted the wrong thing a few times. I'll have to fix that later.
Ew.
Why did I do that? I copied the I see. I messed up the V. I was like, Nathan voted for that, but I put Video Game Award voted for that. Great. We're gonna technical achievement. We have Demon Souls, Doom Eternal, Dreams, the Microsoft Flight Simulator, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and The Last of Us Part 2. The Discord voted for Miles Morales, which I thought that was a weird one for this to win. I wanted to give it to Flight Simulator. Like, the ability to put the entire world in that game is incredible.
Yeah.
But this is where I gave it to Dreams.
Okay.
Like, allowing, as we talked about earlier, allowing that many people to make art in this way, make their own games, make
Right.
existing IPs, and make them pretty darn good.
Right.
I like that is amazing to me, and I wish this game would come out on PC, because the things that
Yeah.
people can make on a PC for that would be incredible. Alex
insane.
did bring up in chat the point that it was Spider-Man Miles Morales was the first PlayStation 5, one of the first PlayStation 5 games. And I could see that, but
That makes
honestly, it didn't, to me, look like that much of a bump between PS4 and PS5. Like, the ray tracing is incredible. The 60 frames a second looks good. But they could have done a lot more to differentiate itself if they wanted, if it, to me, would have been a technical achievement.
Makes sense.
So yeah, my vote is Dreams. What about you?
Flight Simulator. Just, like you said, Google Earth. Let's make it 3D.
Yeah.
And let's fly everywhere. And amazing. Like, it's impressive. Yeah, Flight Simulator. Hands down.
Dope. All right, and lastly, we're going to move on to nominees for EE Game of the Year, which means fan-voted Game of the Year, between Animal Crossing New Horizons, Call of Duty Warzone, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, The Last of Us Part 2, and Valorant, which was an interesting choice to be put in there.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Nathan, what did you vote for?
I'm going to go... This was tough. I'm still stuck between two, to be honest.
I am too.
I'm gonna go Last of Us Part 2. I have a feeling that despite the hate for this game, I feel like this one actually might pull it out this time, whereas it didn't for the Video Game Awards. It was Ghost of Tsushima, which I thought Ghost of Tsushima deserved it, obviously. But I do think that Last of Us Part 2 is I think they're gonna pull this one off, personally.
I think it could be brigaded, first of all. I think
for sure.
People could get really upset and really hardcore vote against it.
Totally.
I think this is where Hades gets it. I think this is the biggest stage where Hades gets Game of the Year.
Fair enough.
Fan voted. Valorant, I don't see. Call of Duty Warzone, absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not for me. No, thank you.
That's hilarious. So many people play that game. So many people love that game.
Ghost of Tsushima, I could see. And but I hope this is where Hades wins. So many people putting it on its best game award, and like me not seeing it until I played it myself. I hope it wins.
Well, we'll see.
I think this might be a case of me just wanting it so bad, but it needs to win.
Not to win,
please. But I could my vote was on Last of Us Part 2, but I changed it while we were looking at it.
All right. Fair enough.
I can't do it. I don't want to do it. So those are all of our picks and the nominations for the BAFTA Game Awards 2021. You could still vote on our Discord, and if you win, whether you beat us or not, you will win some Steam codes, including Undertale and Horus, among some others. I have a good long list of humble keys I never redeemed, so there's a treasure.
Yeah, so get in there. Get in there and vote before the, because I think we're gonna close voting the day before the BAFTAs.
Yeah, I'm gonna close it Wednesday night.
Wednesday night
at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so by midnight Eastern Standard Time for Thursday morning. Get your votes in there, and you can win some codes. All right, next we're going to play a game, and that game is Video Game Mad Libs. Me and Nathan each found a game, and we are going to replace some of the words with new words, and you're going to have to guess the game based on the clues that we give. So, I will go first. Nathan, can I get a cartoon character?
Speedy Gonzalez.
Ooh. I put the P first. I was waiting. I have it in two different parts here. Like a medium, as in a medium of storytelling.
Film.
A major event.
Super Bowl.
Authority figure.
Uncle. I've always wanted to guess the authority figure correctly, so then I end up reading the actual authority figure.
That'd be funny. An animal.
Go with giraffe.
An object.
Let's go with a sponge.
A chore.
Wash dishes.
Name of a fictional town.
Valentine.
There's a lot in here, I realized.
Oh boy.
Two jobs.
Let's go with bellboy and server.
Group of people.
Greasers.
And like a reward.
Trophy.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to read it back to you.
All right.
When Speedy Gonzalez hears on their film that today is the day of the Super Bowl, they decide to visit Uncle and join the festivities. Before he can enter the Super Bowl, he must find a giraffe, a sponge, and wash dishes. Speedy Gonzalez sets off through Valentine, bellboying and serving for his friends and greasers to pay for a trophy.
Putt Putt joins the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I'm so proud of myself right now.
I was like, this is either going to be so obscure and hard or super easy. So I'm actually glad it was super easy. It would have been rough if it wasn't.
I know, right? That would have been super rough. We wouldn't have. Actually, that would have been really rough if we wouldn't have talked about Putt Putt recently.
That's the only reason I picked it.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, that was amazing. Festivities? No, I think it was because he has to collect this, and this to do this, and I was like, okay, that sounds like Putt. It just I don't know why I thought of Putt Putt. It just immediately put it all together. I was like, whoa, that was cool.
Yeah. Right. So I guess I'll read the original out loud. It's when Putt Putt hears on the radio that today is the day of the Cartown Pet Parade. He decides to visit Fire Chief Smokey and join the festivities. Before he can enter the parade, he must find a pet, a balloon, and make himself presentable. Putt Putt sets off through Cartown, mowing lawns and delivering groceries for his friends and neighbors to pay for a quick car wash.
Guys, if you have not played Putt Putt Joins the Parade or Putt Putt Goes to the Moon, get your ass on that game right now. They are super cute.
Yeah,
see if I can
I played it on the 3DO. All right.
Puck pop.
Let's see what you
All right.
got.
I need an adjective.
Um, thirsty.
Okay. A noun.
A sphinx.
Okay. That's like 3 of the words right there. The
Okay.
Sphinx. Adjective.
Exhausted.
Okay. Another adjective.
Jeez. Exacerbated.
Okay. Okay. Another noun.
Um, donkey.
Another noun.
Ruler.
Okay. Adjective.
Pretty.
Plural noun.
Blinds.
Another plural noun.
Ice cream cones.
And okay, 2 more. Plural noun and a noun.
Feet and can.
All right, you ready for this?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. The player character is a thirsty sphinx who explores an exhausted and mostly exacerbated environment presented as a 2.5D platform game. The game is dark, with donkey used sparingly to highlight both the player and certain parts of the ruler. The game is also mostly pretty, with the exception of occasional musical blinds, the Sphinx's vocals, ice cream cones barking, equipment and sound effects. The player controls the Sphinx, who walks, runs, swims, climbs, and uses feet to overcome and progress in the game.
That was so much. Okay. Can you read it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. The player character is a thirsty sphinx who explores an exhausted and mostly exacerbated environment. I love that so much. Presented as a 2.5D platform game. The game is dark, with donkey used sparingly to highlight both the player and certain parts of the ruler. The game is also mostly pretty, with the exception of occasional musical blinds, the Sphinx's vocals, ice cream cones barking, equipment, and sound effects. The player controls the Sphinx, who walks, runs, swims, climbs, and uses feet to overcome and progress in the game.
7 Days to Die.
No. Okay.
Was dark a word I said?
No.
Okay.
Dark is a word.
Do you say 2.5D platformer?
Mm-hmm. 2.5D
Oh, I'm an
platformer.
idiot. It would never have been 7 Days to Die. All right, reveal a word.
All right, let me move this one. Okay, here we go. I changed ice cream cones to dogs.
Can you read the context?
Sure. The game is also mostly pretty, with the exception of occasional musical blinds, the Sphinx's vocals, dogs barking, equipment, and sound effects.
I knew that was going to be dogs. It was. That's why I said 7 Days to Die.
Well, what's funny is I only took out 11 words technically. So
yeah.
No, 10 words. I took out exactly 10 words.
But the worst.
I know.
Barking. I wonder what that word is. You dick.
You dick. But I figured dogs would at least help you, maybe. I don't know.
All right. A dark game, 2.5D platformer. Undertale.
No. Okay. I'm changing the
That's
word.
That's not a platformer either. I suck.
Back to feet back to obstacles.
Context, please.
So the player controls the Sphinx, who walks, runs, swims, climbs, and uses obstacles to overcome can and progress in the game.
I read chat, and I think I know what it is.
You know,
it's kind of cheating. I don't get any points for this.
Sorry, it's not obstacles, it's objects. My bad.
Yeah, I don't get any points for this game. I read chat, and I think I know what it is.
Oh.
It's inside, isn't it?
Yeah, it's inside.
Yep, I get 0 points. I looked in chat.
Oh, dang it.
Like, it's just there. Like, I was like,
I know,
looking around, and then there it was. It's inside.
Yeah,
I
just
wouldn't have gotten
the
it.
big words inside.
Yep, 0 points for me. Clay, I hate you.
Banned Emily, for life, Clay.
Emily moved in here so she could speak on the Give It an Hour, so she couldn't mod it and delete it.
It's okay.
No,
it
is okay.
I'll read the full thing.
I should really minimize chat. Like, that's about me.
Yeah, maybe when we're doing games, when we have
to
guess
we should
things,
minimize
we'll
chat.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, I would not have gotten it, to be fair. So
can you I don't know. I think you would have eventually. Yeah, sure. The original, the player. So the player character is an unnamed boy who explores a surreal and mostly monochromatic environment, presented as a 2.5D platform game. The game is dark, with color used sparingly to highlight both the player and certain parts of the environment. The game is also mostly silent, with the exception of occasional musical cues, the boy's vocals, dogs barking, equipment, and sound effects. The player controls the boy, who walks, runs, swims, climbs, and uses objects to overcome obstacles and progress in the game. But yeah, it's almost that you could have guessed Limbo, and that would have also like I was banking on you guessing Limbo instead of Inside, and I've been like, yeah.
Gotcha, nerd. No, and like, I think it's fun that people guess in chat. It's absolutely my fault for looking. I should not have looked.
Oh no. Yeah, it's fine.
So fine. That happens. So great. That could have been a great game. So we're gonna move on to our Give It an Hour. And Clay's just like, now the world knows I got it first. Emily's gonna join us for this. She's gonna sit next to me, but I don't want to bring the other chair in here, so I'm just gonna.
That's fine. Just get close.
No, we're gonna sit.
Yo, Emily, what's up?
We're gonna half butt it.
Half butt it. That's cute.
Oh, you don't. Emily's gonna plug in. Hold on, let me put the splitter in.
Technical difficulty.
Okay. Emily, the star of the show. Heck yeah. Clay says, I was hoping only Nathan would see it.
He was hoping I wouldn't cheat, which I did. So
yeah, you're.
I don't think you cheated. I think you just accidentally glanced, because it was like in big. Like, he may as well have called us on the phone and said, "It's fucking inside."
He wrote, "I want to be inside," and
I want to be inside.
Yeah. So Spiritfarer.
Yeah, we played Spiritfarer for an hour.
You play this, and you very well hinted on. We both did a bit on our feelings toward this game. Nathan, why don't you start?
Okay. Well, the thing I said to Jeff was, I think this is so far my game of the year. Like, I was not expecting that at all. This game hit me on so many levels from the get-go. Like, I did not, it took me way off guard, because I was like, okay, this is gonna be a cute little story game, and I was like, no, this is on a whole another level. Like, knowing that you're gonna have to say goodbye to all of these animals from the beginning, every encounter, every hug is so damn hard, because you know at some point you're gonna have to say goodbye to these animals, and it is the most heartbreaking thing. And I choked up so many times playing this game already. Just like, I was like, oh man, this game is hitting me this hard already, and I'm just starting. Like, I haven't even gotten through an hour of the game, and it's like, what, 30 hours according to you? Like a 30-hour game to beat or something, or 20-something hours?
To complete it is 36, but to like beat is like early 20s. So that's not too bad.
That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, the hand-drawn art style I love. The score is absolutely gorgeous. Like, Emily, I watched a little bit of your guys' Give It an Hour game, and you nailed it. Like, the music is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I couldn't agree with you more.
For sure.
Just everything, like the sound design, the sounds of the ocean is so calming, the rain, everything about it. I love all the characters, how specific their personalities are. Like, there's each of their little designs, the way they walk, the way they move, talk. It's just very charming, very creative. I also like how special like you also have to like find their special favorite food. Like I feel like that is it's so cool because you almost like want to like do the best you possibly can for them because you know like you're supposed to like make the last few days of their life or the last months of their life or whatever it is be the most special as possible, and you're kind of like a host to these people that are going to be leaving this world soon, and you want to like give them their final requests and make them happy, and it's like you so badly want to do all that, but just everything about this game, man, the mechanics are so intuitive. It's just so simple to play. I love day night cycles in games because it just feels like the world's constantly moving without you and it's lived in, and I loved that about RDR2. And another thing that I noticed with this is that I'm super excited to craft and farm and upgrade my ship in general. But like the ship kind of reminds me of the camp from Red Dead Redemption 2, where you kind of have like your daily chores if you want, but then you also can interact with everyone on the boat and then like go do like quests for them or like interact with them and get to know them better and become closer with them. So I loved that. It feels very open, but it's guided. This is like just a very chill game in general. That's kind of what I'm always looking for, is something to kind of relax and distress, before the day starts or after the end of the day. I also love all the cat animations, just like the way like the cat hangs on the saw as you're sawing down trees.
Yeah. We got such a kick out of that.
I love the cat.
It was, Emily, were you able to actually like sit on Jeff's lap as the cat?
We can try that. Like I sat down and Emily tried to sit down and like just sit her in front of it. But
I tried to sit on the couch before you like get rid of the couch, and it was like you can sit in front of the couch, cat. Like it doesn't let you sit on the couch.
So when I was playing, when you have Stella sit on the couch, Daffodil jumps in your lap and sits on your lap.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's super cute. And then also if you push down on the D-pad, you have an option to hug the cat. It is the cutest thing ever. It's so
cute.
Sweet.
We didn't.
Yeah, it's adorable.
It was. We were too busy with Emily missing platforms.
It was so terrible.
Like I was talking to the first person and she just keep falling. Like I can't even pay attention to what they're saying. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, like Alex just mentioned this in chat, like hospice work, and that is exactly it. But it's like fantasy hospice. I can't explain it. It's almost like if hospice was like a fairy tale and like storybook land. It is so charming, so sweet, and so touching, and just so hard. But at the same time, and I'm just so excited to just get into this game. I feel like I've just barely scratched the surface too. Like an hour is not enough at all to like understand what this game truly is like gonna show you and all the odd things you can do. But I already know. I just know deep in my heart that this game is. I'm gonna just knock this sucker out to full completion. I'm gonna do everything, and it's gonna be an amazing 36 plus hours. That's all I'm gonna say. So, but yeah, definitely adding this to my backlog. I think I'm gonna push this to the front of everything else that I'm playing currently. I think I'm gonna stop playing Assassin's Creed Origins. Wow. I'm gonna stop playing everything and just max the fuck out of this game. It's so good. I don't know. I can't even say enough about it. So yeah.
Awesome. Emily, what were your thoughts?
I also absolutely loved it, and I'm gonna play it. Jeff just got me the Xbox. What's it called?
Game Pass.
So that
Nice.
I can play it. Yes. I loved being the cat, but I do want to try being Stella. So like Jeff and I did 2-player, and so Jeff was Stella and I was the cat. And I think that there's not that much, at least from what we played, that the cat can't do necessarily.
Right.
But like I tried to hug Gwen after, like the first few conversations that Stella has with Gwen, and it wouldn't let me.
Well, yeah, I think it was just at a time that she wasn't letting anyone hug her.
Oh, maybe.
So I think if she was in the need for a hug, it would have worked because the option was there for a hug.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it wouldn't let you talk to anyone though, like when it was an important conversation, which was frustrating. Because I'm like, well, I just fish, and then you go talk, because I was really tired of talking.
Yeah, but then I couldn't talk to them because I'm a cat. So then I did the fishing instead. But
the cat can fish. That's hilarious.
Yes, the cat can fish, and the cat can also like.
It doesn't have an animation. It just stands there while the fishing pole goes out.
But
that's hilarious.
when you cook and you have the little like oven mitts, The cat can have the oven mitts too, which was adorable.
That's so cute.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It was a lot of fun. I was not very good at jumping on platforms, as Jeff pointed out, but it was still fun.
Nice.
I feel like there was one other thing I was going to add, but Jeff, what did you think?
I agree with Nathan in the fact that an hour was not enough for this game. Like, if you're wanting to give this game a shot, do not settle for the first hour, because honestly, the first hour was all tutorial, and you're dealing with the same character, and every time you do one thing, she's like, "Hey, come talk to me," and the dialogue is so long, and it really lets you get to know the character, but like. In those cases, it was more like it was just over explaining everything going on, and I think the hand holding was a bit too extreme. And that's a part of the game that I thought made it feel childish, but the language they use, while not crude, is more adult. So it's obviously aimed at adults, but so it was very frustrating that they were hand holding as if I was 10. They're like, if you plant these, and like. I really enjoyed the aspects of getting to know the different characters, including what they like to eat. So you have to like really cater the experience to each of the different ones and have those food ready.
Right.
I like that the day and night cycle is not timed. You could spend as much or as little time doing each of these things and not have to worry that you're on a deadline or that the next day is going to come soon.
True.
You could do every single thing on your own time in this game. And I thought that was, an incredible way to do it. Like, I don't like being rushed, and I could play kind of like with bug stacks. I can play at any speed I want. You can't lose. It's just getting the experience that you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I really liked the experience of gathering. Like, normally I'm like, oh, good, it's another grind of getting like wood and all of this stuff. But they had each interesting ways and fun ways of getting everything. Like, I loved getting lightning in a bottle. I loved getting those floating the jellyfish things. I loved sawing down the tree because it made me laugh. Like, all of it was great. I love the powers that you get, and it really gives you a reason to go back to these old worlds. Like, when you got the double jump, you were able to get to like different places. Like, what was it called? The
second story
upstairs
club or whatever.
Second story,
like, there's really nothing up here, but
that's so great.
But it gives you a reason. Just like, it is linear, but like, you can go back and explore and find new things, find new seeds, find new orbs. My biggest complaint about it was just that, like, I felt at the end of the hour that I was still in the tutorial, and that like it was still explaining every little thing I was doing. I just wanted to get to the part where I could play the game and play it how I want to play it.
Gotcha.
So I played it, and like, I already wanted to add it to my backlog, but I wasn't feeling as good about it as you were. And then I, for the first time, watched the trailer, and the trailer was like, okay, once I get to a certain point, I know I'm gonna love this game. Like, my first impression was I didn't even like the art style. Like, I don't like how everything was drawn, but within the first 15 minutes, that was gone. But
you kind of get lost, like, honestly.
Yeah. But I think when the game opens up and it's not so much hand holding, it's gonna be a funny but also emotional experience, and I am ready for it. So I am also going to push it to the front of my backlog. I think I'm going to move to single player because it sounds like Emily wants to play on her own.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
So I'll be playing by myself in the middle of the night, and she'll be playing while I'm at work. And it'll be a nice, perfect balance.
You make it sound so sad. I'll be playing in the dark by myself. That's hilarious.
As I always do.
No, well, you mentioned how like it's funny, like, but it's also going to be sad. But I think I really appreciated that because well, that's saying like you're arguing it. I'm just saying, like, it's a good point, because I feel like this game is going to be so depressing that they did a really nice job of actually having a lot of the dialogue be a little lighthearted, and like the feeling of playing the game being lighthearted and more casual and relaxing, because I feel like the theme in this game is just so damn heavy, to where they had to come up with some way to lighten the mood a little bit. And I think they found a really nice balance of making everything feel really quaint and charming and sweet and funny and light and bright and beautiful, mixed with like this ultimate dark, like sad end, to it. And that's what I think is more amazing. The fact that I already know how this game's going to end. Like that,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen that often in a game where you know what the ending is, but it's just like the journey is going to be the actual exciting part, you know?
And the review, almost like, not to argue, but the review I saw that we watched before we did the podcast, is a lot of people. It says like a lot of people are going to think this game's depressing, but in a way, it's uplifting because people are completing their journey, but they're completing it when they're ready.
Yes.
And so, like, I think it's the kind of loss that, like, there are different kinds of losses, but I think it's the loss that you're ready for. Like, it sucks to say goodbye, but like, this is the next step, and it's just your job to complete their journey with them.
Yeah, I feel like a better word
so
than
sweet.
like depressing or sad is poignant.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Like,
yes. That's
it's not necessarily going to be depressing, but you're gonna have all the feels. Like,
yeah, of
we
course.
played that first hour and then we watched the trailer, and like I almost started crying by the end of the trailer.
Like,
you know?
they showed clips from different characters going on to the boat rides.
Like the hug.
And like every
Yes.
character gets a hug, and then there's just like a second of nothing with one of the characters, and it just says, "I'm so scared."
I know.
Oh my God.
I almost cried in that. Like,
I know.
As I say a lot, I don't cry, but I almost burst into tears. It was just like, it was heart-wrenching.
Right? Yeah.
So I am stoked to see where this game goes. I'm glad it's on Game Pass. Like, after seeing what I've seen, I gladly would have paid for that game, and I still might. Like, if
I think I will too.
Yeah, I might pick it up for PlayStation or somewhere else, but it is great.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's the best way to describe it. Like, poignant. That's perfect. And
that's a great word.
Yeah, again, it's
Thank
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to playing this game. And one thing I also wanted to touch on too, if you noticed that as you're bringing on these characters on your boat, you refer to them as somebody that you like, as if Stella knows them in another life, like another past life. Like, have you met the frog yet?
Yes.
We just did, yeah.
Okay. Well, like the frog calls Stella his niece, and the deer refers to Stella as her sister. So I think it's interesting that, like, all these characters that she's meeting for the first time, she actually knows in another life, past life, as family members.
I saw that, your clip in that, and I went back and I watched the part where she met the deer, but it, like, I interpreted it as that she legit knew that person because they said, "It's me, so and so," and said their name, and Stella's like,
so that's what I'm saying, like,
like, so
but as I'm saying, like, there's no context as like prior, so it's like, how am I supposed to know who this is? You know, I
think they're giving you, like, to me, it's not like metaphorical. And we could play and you could be right, but when I was playing it, my interpretation was that Stella legitimately knew these people, and they're telling you the history because instead of showing you the history.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm curious as to why they decided to make them Stella's family members and then just like have them be animals instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think it's like, I think it's to speak to everyone's like spirit animal, like, or like that's their true form. Like, that's the spirit inside them, like your Patronus.
Probably.
It's their Patronus.
Right.
We'll see where it goes, and it could just be Stella was chosen for this group of people because, like, she was an important part of all of these people's life. I don't know, like, I think,
right.
And you talk to it, and after playing it, I agree. Like, we're gonna complete this game, and we're gonna do a spoiler cast where we talk about our experience with the full game with full spoilers. So if anyone's looking to play this game or thinking about it, and you wanna kind of take the journey with us, you can play it on Game Pass for I got Emily the free trial for $1, or not free trial, the $1 trial for $1.
Trial for $1.
Give it a shot.
Give it an hour.
Yeah,
if you will.
We'll see. Yeah, I could have totally misinterpreted it. Nathan could totally misinterpret it. So we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that aspect. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. Great. So next week, for next week, Nathan and I are choosing a game for each other to play. Nathan, what am I playing?
You're gonna be playing Broken Age.
Okay.
On PS4, so PS5.
Okay. You
It was actually
are,
a game that I had. Sorry,
you
go
had
ahead.
what?
No,
go
I had actually
finish your
played this
thought on
game
your
for. I think I had picked this for. I had picked this for one of my Give It an Hours. It was like a game on my backlog to play. So I would like you to play it now.
Got it. Well, finally, you're gonna play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it is free on PlayStation Plus, and I know the new version does not upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version, but I think I will pick that up.
Great.
And if you like it, you could finish it on there. If not, you never have to touch it again.
Perfect.
But
Before
Jeff
we move
will
on,
be
we
so
actually
mad.
had we.
Oh,
we had
yes, sorry. We had a
no, it's
we
all
had
good.
a- yeah.
We had a review for Spirit Fair. Somebody new joined the Discord recently, going by the name Cowboy, and this was Cowboy's take on Spirit Fair. Cowboy said, "All right, so while I may not have experienced it fully, I could still tell from the get-go that Spirit Fair really had something to offer. There is an unmistakable quality built into the characters, animations, and soundtrack. Carefully designed elements that promise a well-crafted story with emotional character investments await beyond the first hour of the game. It's simple, it's peaceful, it's just all around delightful. The game will likely find a nearly exclusive niche among the audiences that enjoys titles like Stardew Valley and Undertale, those who can place value upon charm and cuteness over hype-stimulating gameplay. But I enjoyed what I played, especially in co-op as a lazy weekend game with a significant other. I could definitely see playing it again." Cowboy, thank you so much for that review. That was
That was very sweet.
very
Well
beautiful.
worded.
It was great. And you also can get involved with the Give It an Hour every week. We do this every week, and you play along with us, and you send your reviews in via our social media platform or our Discord, which you can join, and you can drop your reviews there, which we'll read live on the show. So there you go.
Dope. You could find me on all social media, Zavadabadoo. Where can they find you, Emily?
Poke Starwind.
And Nathan, where can they find you?
Adventure Hawkins on everything, except with Twitter, it's Adventure without the E.
All right, we are Backlog and Beyond on Instagram. We are Backlog Beyond on Twitter, which we never use. We do it a little bit.
I tag you
Nathan
guys all
does
the
it,
I
time.
post our
Yeah,
I post our stuff.
Nathan reposts our stuff there, but like we're more active in conversations as ourselves.
Yes.
And yeah, so thank you all for coming out. Nathan, I'm sure you have a joke.
Oh, the joke. I always forget every
Yeah.
week.
You forget every week. 'Cause
Every
they're not
week
the-
I
they're
forget.
not that, yeah, they're very forgetful. So my wife traumatically ripped the blankets off me last night. I'll recover. 5, 6, 7, 8.